Hi, everybody. Coming up on 1 o'clock on the dot. Here we are watching live Super Doppler 4 here in the studio as we are seeing things begin to unfold back toward the west as this system is getting a little bit closer to us. I don't know why I'm talking quietly. You can turn your own volume down. I'm sure many of you are in the bed or considering heading to bed. And that's the big question tonight is what is going to happen tonight while we're sleeping. You've got yourselves, you've got loved ones you're entrusted with caring for. So we're going to break down here kind of what we're seeing as this line is moving through, what it's going to do the rest of the night, and when you need to kind of stay on guard and watch this as it moves on through. But I just want to thank you for joining. If you will, let me know where you're watching from. Give me a thumbs up that you can hear me. I do think I have the microphone and everything turned on, so I think we're good there. Let's look at the Doppler radar. This is a live look at the radar right now. We do have a tornado watch to our south and west, and so far I'm not seeing any new signs of a new watch that will be issued just yet. So far, so good on the radar, but 2 o'clock is when this thing's really supposed to get into our area. So we have about another hour before it actually kind of begins to actually roll through. I see Greenville's in the house. We got Anderson. Ty's watching from Malden. Hello to you. To my Southside peeps. We've got Tracy watching right now. I know there's a lot going on right now, and you just want to know if you can go to bed, right? That's kind of what you're trying to figure out. And so far, I'm really cautiously optimistic with what we're seeing. There have been some really, really feisty storms toward the south. In fact, we're up to 30 deaths, unfortunately, in this outbreak back through Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, and parts of Missouri. There have been a couple of confirmed tornadoes on the ground in Alabama, several of them, in fact. And right now on the south side of this, LaGrange, south of Atlanta, is where you'll find your current warnings. There was a really feisty initial line that rolled through metro Atlanta. That line now exists, but much weaker, over Dahlonega and Gainesville. And as we zoom in on Doppler radar, that initial line is starting to move into Stevens County, Georgia, Toccoa. There's some rain in Clemson. There are quite a few lightning strikes in and around North Carolina. This would be up through Silva, Cullowhee, Franklin, Bryson City. You go up toward Cherokee County. You go up here toward Nantahala, that's where you're going to find some heavy rain, and it's just absolutely pouring right now. Let me switch our Doppler radar over on closer to home here, and we can get a better look at that. It is just absolutely pouring here across Batesville, Guyton, back through the west here and into Gainesville. And we'll have to watch out for the flooding risk here. But as far as severe weather is concerned, let me turn Atlanta's Peachtree City back on here. The closest thunderstorm that's severe is southwest of Newnan right now, really southwest of LaGrange, getting closer to Columbus. There are two. This was an actual confirmed tornado on the ground shortly ago, southwest of Columbus. Now that it's crossing the state line, it does not appear that it is still a confirmed tornado, an observed tornado, but does have a radar indication rotation there with you. So as we look at the reflectivity, let's switch over to the velocity, basically a way to kind of analyze the storm. We do have a tornado warning here that is southwest of LaGrange, about to cross over the state line. This is a radar indicated tornado warning for southeastern Chambers County and east central Alabama. And that moves off toward the north and east. You just see that new warning right there. As I pull back out, looks like they're going to replace that with a severe thunderstorm warning that covers the entire line. You see three little notches there of some high winds. That's going to cross over into Georgia, and then from there, there's certainly some high winds in these storms, but nothing is rotating right now in and around Atlanta. So you're saying you didn't answer my question. Can I go to bed? Well, you need to have a way to receive warnings because this line is going to continue to move through. Honestly, folks, it's not even really supposed to get here until about 2 a.m., and it will continue at times moving through this area through 4, through 5, even up through about 6 a.m. Between 6 and 8, it's trying to pull on out of here. So until this back edge of this line gets through, we really can't sound the all clear. But if you have a way to receive warnings, and that goes with turning your phone on ring, you sleep with you sleep with your phone with it not being on silent, right? Having a way to actually get those warnings, should they be issued, is going to be the critical part here as we move on through. Here's my live. There we go. Hit the wrong button. So let's look from the radar to now the models. What are the models showing right now? And let's get into that as we speak. So I'm going to refresh it. That way we have a fresh run of the models. This is the most recent high-resolution rapid refresh. Basically, it corrects itself based on current radar conditions. And we see here through 2 o'clock, pretty well aligned with where the models have it. So within the hour, we'll start to see some of the more feisty parts of the storm roll into the area, and certainly between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. So that's our time frame of when things are going to get going. Between 4 and 5, the back edge of that trying to move through Toccoa, now moving through Seneca and Clemson at 5. And then by 6, the worst of this appears to be kind of rolling through Spartanburg and Greenwood. And then by 7, it's now approaching between Newberry and Columbia. That's the latest high-resolution model. What about the ingredients for tornadic activity? Does it hold together as it moves on through? Well, out of a scale of about 1 through 10, and back through Alabama today, we've been dealing with 10s all day. We're looking at a tornado parameter sitting around 2. That said, this is not nothing. I mean, I've seen tornadoes touch down with these kind of parameters many times over. We got 2 to 3 kind of showing up on our tornado parameters here between 2, 3, 4 o'clock, and then it shifts over toward the east and then rolls on through. Let's look at this a little bit closer with a new model, what we call the helicity tracks. This is basically rotation tracks. Where are these thunderstorms rotating? And I see a number of them possibly rotating over the next few hours in and around Atlanta, and then south of Atlanta would be where the greatest rotation will be found. Now I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to show you the same models but closer into home. So find your county just for some bearings. Get your bearings straight. There's the North Carolina-South Carolina line. There's the Georgia-South Carolina line. There's Elberton. There's Anderson. There's Greenville. There's Spartanburg. Okay, you got where we're at? You know where your town is? Good. Let's move it forward. Here we are, 1 o'clock. That's where we're at right now. Let's go to 2. Let's go to 3. All right, by 3 o'clock, I mean, some of the more feisty stuff is still back through Commerce, moving along the I-85 corridor through Athens. And it's not until really 4 o'clock that some of this is trying to roll through. There's Toccoa, Clemson, Seneca. That'd be 5 o'clock. Here's 6 o'clock. Here's 7 o'clock. So honestly, it's looking like that 3 to 6 a.m. time frame that things get a little dicey across the area. So what I'd say, if you're just kind of nodding off, if I'm putting you to sleep right now, I would say, go on to bed, have a way to receive those warnings. In fact, I suggest you have 2 ways to receive warnings, okay? Have that phone on. You guys aren't seeing some of these models, are you? Man, is it stuck on me again? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Let me refresh this here for you. Not sure why it does this to me. I got to restart my computer. Bear with me for 1 second. I'm going to go away and then come right back. Here we go. Now you guys got me. Now you can see it. All right, let's try that again. All right, here we are, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Now you can see where we're at. So sorry about that, guys. Not sure why the camera didn't want to shift on you. There we go. All right, so here's the model. Honestly, 2 to 6 a.m. appears to be our roughest time frame. So again, if you're wanting to go to bed, if you're just nodding off right now, trying to see it, you guys can see it now, right? Please let me know. Map not moving. Yeah. So sorry about that, guys. Got it fixed. Got to do a big restart here. I think it's a bug in the system. So when I shifted from the radar to the different application, it just didn't want to go with me. All right. Nonetheless, you see what we're doing here. 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. is going to be our roughest time frame. So have a way to receive warnings. Have your phone on. If you're subscribed to our updates here on WYFF4, maybe you have the WYFF4 mobile app. Having that installed will be a good way. That's having a backup to the backup to the backup is what I suggest. Signing up for notifications here on Facebook. If I go live, it's going to give you a little push alert, but those aren't going to be loud. They're not. It's going to be one little doo-doo. It's not going to be a ring. So keep that in mind. All of those are great options for staying informed. Subscribe to us on YouTube, WYFF. We go on the air. We go live on YouTube. It's going to send you a little push alert. Okay? All great tools. Having the WYFF4 mobile app, great tool. Every single one of my family members have it. Helps by the pool. If there's going to be lightning around, it tells you if there's lightning. But 2 a.m. through 6 a.m. is going to be our roughest time frame. Griffin's back here. We're not going anywhere. We're hanging tight. We're here. We got some extra caffeine. You know, we're gonna power through here so that you can sleep, so that you can rest. All right. So if you can have a way to receive warnings, I would feel comfortable doing that. My wife is asleep right now. I think. My kiddos are asleep, and I'm going to call them if it's going to get dicey. But at the same time, my wife has been doing this long enough. She knows the drill, has the multiple ways to receive warnings. That said, we also prepared our home in the event that we're going to get a warning. We have a little closet that we go to. It's our safe place in our home. We have a 3-year-old, so I mean, if my wife's waking her up at 3 a.m. in the morning while Dad's on TV, you better have some good things in there for a pillow, a blanket. We have a comforter laying on the floor, so it's not just some cold hardwood, right? I mean, it's got to be somewhat comfortable. Some games for the big kids, all right? So making it an environment, having a flashlight, and that said, if this thing gets really out of hand, would be a good idea to have a pair of shoes nearby. If you do sustain some kind of damage in your home, you're going to be able to put those shoes on and not be walking around with shrapnel around everywhere. Same story for bicycle helmets. Just having those just placed right there. I mean, you can clean it up tomorrow when you're having that extra cup of coffee, right? So that's going to be the key here is this time frame. But I want to show you this model zoomed in. First, we have it here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock. Let's go in and look at the refreshed tornado parameters. They are a little more bullish here between the hours of 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. for our area, but it's quick in and out. That's what we're seeing here. All right, so 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. Let's look at the same thing, but the tracks map. And again, this doesn't tell you exactly where a tornado is going to be, but it does tell you it's possible. And when I look at this map, I look at how many are there and how severe are they. So this new model, this 4Z run, this most latest updated one, as I compare it to the last one, is a little more bullish, and it does have a good deal number of them more. All right, so even going back 2 runs ago, notice the trend has been for slight uptick in the number of them and the slight uptick in the intensity of them. Now they have them down here between Columbia and Greenwood and say Lawrence. So that's it doesn't tell you exactly where they're going to be, but it does tell you an idea of what that threat may be. Let me look at the tornado parameter. Let's go to the highest of it. Looks like it peaks somewhere around 4 to 5. We'll leave it here at 5 a.m. Let's compare that to the last model. Sits about the same. 2 model runs ago, close to the same. 3 model runs ago, 4 model runs ago. So there were a bunch of 1s on here. The models that were running about 4 hours ago. Based on current trends, they've upticked a little bit with the amount of tornado ingredients right now. So when I look at that, that's kind of the way it's shaping up. So tomorrow, if you're making your plans for tomorrow, this thing's gone by 8, 9 a.m., and our weather's fine in the Western Carolinas. But if your travels take you east, if you're watching right now east, Charlotte, Columbia, Myrtle Beach, Wilmington, Raleigh, Winston-Salem, Greensboro, Charleston, Savannah, Jacksonville, those areas have a medium risk for severe weather during the daylight hours tomorrow. Now, the ingredients, the makeup, the wind energy with this storm looks a whole lot different by that time frame. So it's not going to be quite the storm that it was today. But when you look at the overnight risks, this gets us through 8 a.m. We are in that orange category, which is a high risk. I mean, we do have a high risk for severe weather from basically the western part of the upstate all the way through Atlanta as this line moves on through. Now let's shift things back over to that Doppler and look at what's happening right now. Because we need to nowcast just as much as we're looking at what the models are showing me. But here we go. There is one warning here, one tornado warning here between LaGrange and Columbus. And this is a pretty fierce line. Put it in motion here for you. It means business right there. And it's moving to the east-northeast. And then you got closer to home, a couple of lightning strikes. Don't be surprised. I think that's what's going to kind of get some folks in a little bit of a fear mode is you're going to hear some lightning probably. You're going to hear some heavy rain. You're going to hear the windy conditions out there kind of bringing that wind, bringing that rain into your windows and whatnot. That's not the actual, core part of the storm, but it's getting close. So Toccoa through Batesville, some good old-fashioned heavy rain. Back through Atlanta, where there's a higher risk for severe weather. Currently, I'm just not seeing any active tornado concerns. When I turn on the velocity, though, we can kind of look inside. There's a little concern here west of Carrollton. Got some rotation near Mount Zion. So in this are some pockets of some pretty feisty winds in here. And identifying it, you got 67 mile per hour wind there, 69 mile per hour wind there. These are radar estimated. But you go down here toward the warned cell. These winds are sitting around 62, 63 in this cell right here that is tornado warned. Got to watch that closely as we're watching it move on through. Sydney's in the house too, so we got Sydney, Griffin, and myself watching. You got a triple team coverage of the weather in here, and I got to tell you, our whole weather team. I mean, this is what we do. This is why we do what we do, and it's to keep you posted on any kind of severe weather threat. So that's kind of the lowdown, the skinny of it right now at 1:17. I will update you again at 2 a.m. regardless of whether there is a severe thunderstorm or a tornado concern. That way, those of you that are watching right now, you're saying, go to bed. I'm not going to bed. We'll be here with you through the night. Renee brings up a good point. Don't forget your pets. I completely agree. Don't forget them. Bring them inside. Absolutely. Danny, this is 100% a threat. This is not make-believe. This is 100% a threat that you should take seriously. Natalie's watching from Waynesville, keeping you posted there. We've got Greenwood in the house. Madison's watching. How bad will it get in Anderson? Watching that as well. So all of this kind of to say 2 a.m. through 5 a.m., that's going to be our crunch time. 5 to 7, it's still kind of a little bit hairy. And at 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, it's trying to move on out. So we will keep you posted, folks. Look for another update here at 2 a.m. regardless, and I'll continue to keep you posted. Stay safe and get some rest, everybody.